Hey guys, my name is Rahim. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, smash the subscribe button because I talk about personal development, property investment, and how to gain financial freedom. Have you ever thought about being able to sack your boss? So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you exactly the steps you can take to sack your boss if it's a job that you're not really happy about doing. But before we get to that, if you like this video or any of my videos, smash the like button below, subscribe to my channel for more amazing videos. So you see, I was told going to university, finish university, getting a job is what really life was all about, only to realize when I started working, really that's not what I envision myself doing after spending all those 3-4 years at university. So I started thinking, how am I going to be able to sack my boss? I used tactics to ensure I was able to sack my boss whilst also not being worried about going back working for people. So when I realized what the real world is all about after finishing uni, I noticed that wasn't for me. Working as an accountant wasn't the life I wanted to. Why? Because when I looked at my manager, she was working ridiculously long hours. She's traveling countries to countries. She's in 4 or 5 countries within a week. And I looked at her, she looked stressed out and really looking at the work and the effort she is putting in versus her salary, it wasn't really worth it. So as soon as I saw that, I started thinking about what can I do to make money work for me instead of me working for it. What I did, the first thing I did is to ask myself, what do I want to do apart from being an accountant working for someone? So as you would imagine, so many stuff come to my head, from being a bookkeeper to being a self-employed accountant to being so many stuff. And then I start looking into that. I realized if I want to do that, I may want to be a chartered accountant first, which will again get me to educating myself, doing all the professional qualification in order for me to be able to do that. But then that then also tells me if I'm doing that, I'm still working for money instead of the money working for me. Because if I'm a bookkeeper, I only get paid when obviously I render my service. If I'm an accountant, exactly the same thing. So I thought, what can I do really to get me to make money working for me whilst still working for the company, because obviously that was my only income. So I thought about Forex. I tried Forex and I gambled my way through it. I realized again, it's not really giving me the return I was expecting. I went to these courses and I wanted to do it, but it didn't work. I tried trading stock and shares. Again, the same thing. I realized I was gambling my money away and I kept losing because I was really using emotions to try to see if that would work for me. And then obviously I looked into property. So I looked into property. The reason why I looked into property, I saw someone, a gentleman, turn up in a massive Range Rover, pointing at property, saying, I literally just secured that property and that property generates me £500 every single month. And he goes like, the best part of it, I do not own it. I was like, what? That really was a music to my ears. So obviously I searched into it. And the next thing, and then also what I did is to find out what my niche is, what sort of market that was. So I learned about the strategy, I learned about property, and then I learned that I could take over properties without actually buying them. So I can sublet it room by room basis to make a bit of money out of it. So I was thinking, whoa, this is serious, because I thought I wasn't allowed to do that. I thought that was subletting, right? So and then what I did at that point is to educate myself in it while still working. Right, I was working, getting my salary, educating myself. So you may be thinking, how would you be able to do that whilst working? So what I was doing basically is to use my time efficiently. So I go to work. I used to work ridiculous long hours as well. I used to work from 8 in the morning until 6 p.m. almost 6 days a week, because I'm one of those that are very slow. I need to do stuff at my own pace. So some Saturdays I'm also working, but I'm able to work around it by working after work basically. So I work till 6, go home, have dinner, 7:30, 8 o'clock I finish having dinner, and then obviously I sat with my laptop. I'll be with my laptop until maybe 10:30 to like 12 o'clock midnight. So I consistently do that to educate myself, to learn about properties, and started looking for deals. So it wasn't always easy obviously, because it was really difficult, but what I did basically is to have that vision wanting to quit my job. And the other thing I did during my education basically is to make me hate the job so much, because I realized if I hate the job so much, it will only forces me to execute my property thing I wanted to do, because back then it was just a thing, right? I did not take it as a serious thing at the moment, but I hated my job. But the reason why I hated my job is because it was so bureaucratic. I work ridiculous long hours. I've got so much work to do, and if I'm not at work, nobody does my job. Literally, I was undervalued and underappreciated. Any silly mistake I make, the whole office would know about that. So it wasn't really somewhere I wanted to be, and it get to a point where I hated it so much and that I nearly went to depression, because I'm only happy on a Friday and Saturday. The reason I'm happy on Friday is because I know that is the last working day of the week, and then obviously Saturday I know I may be only doing a couple of hours work, and then the remaining day it is with me. So that was the only time that I was happy. But when it comes to Sunday, I'm back on my zombie mode, knowing that I'm going back to work on Monday. Have you ever felt that way? If you are feeling that way right now in your workplace, here's the thing. That is not good for you, and it is also detrimental to your health, because I had to go through that for about 3 to 4 years after university. And then that gets me thinking, how are the people that have hate their job, been in the job for about 5, 6, some of them even 20 years, and they're still doing the same thing, knowing that they don't even like what they're doing, or they don't even like the people that they work with, but they go there every single day, 5 days a week, some people 6 days a week, still doing exactly the same thing. So for me, it was really tearing me down, and I wasn't really getting along with my manager either, right? Because she did not know what I was doing. I just got thrown to her to work with in her department, and obviously I was managing 240 manufacturing site as a management accountant. You do the maths, how many reports I need to do. I need to do 240 reports every single month to my directors. So it was really painstaking job. So I hated it. I made sure I hated it emotionally, morally, physically. It hated me so much that I don't even want Mondays to come. So that's how I hated my job. So that then triggers me and motivated me to come back from work after 6, been working till 6 p.m., having a meal for about an hour or so, and then jump on my laptop again, spending that time for me, adding value to me. As I said, it wasn't always easy. So I implemented what I've learned. I've got my first property after 6 months, and then I got my second property, third property. Then I know this thing is working. This thing really worked. I started making, I think my first property I was making about £950 per calendar month when I joint ventured with my landlord that I used to live with. So I realized, okay, this thing is working. And then obviously I did my second property. Oh wow, this is really working. And then third one, and I said, this is really working. And then obviously by then I was joint venture with my landlord. I wasn't putting any of this money in. All I was bringing in is labor work and obviously the knowledge I gained from educating myself. So once I've got to that level where I was making that sort of money, but along the way I was also saving money. So I wasn't using all my take-home salary. I was saving about maybe 25 to 30% of my take-home salary, because I knew I do not want to work for someone after 4 years of finishing university, especially when I started the first day. I'm thinking, no way I can do this. So what I did then, I invested in property and my education until my income from property was equal to my salary. When it gets to that point, then I quit the job. I went to my boss. I said, look, I love you so much. Obviously I did not. But I would like to quit. And then they asked me why I was quitting. I said, no, I just want to quit. I want to go on my own. I want to start my own thing. And then they'd be like, whoa, start your own thing. How can you start your own thing, bro? You've just finished uni about three years ago. You've got a wife that just arrived in the country, you barely speak English. You live in a shared house and you're thinking of going on your own. I'm thinking, yes, I'm going to go on my own. They said, okay, no worries. If you ever need a job, come back. Because they thought I was going to come back to them literally begging for a job. So I said, yes, I'm going to quit. So I had to give about, I think 3 month notice. I can't remember. I think 3 or 6 month notice. But I think it was three month notice. Because I was working so hard. I had so many banked hours, right? Meaning if you work overtime, you tend to bank the hours so you can take them on holiday or they can pay you back. So, and obviously you've got a deadline to also use those banked hours as well. That's how ridiculous working for people are, right? So I have to use the banked hours. If not, I lose them, or if not, I take the salary. So what I did at that point, I said, look, I've got about 55 hours banked. Is it okay for us to work around them to see if we can deduct that from the team 3 month notice I've given you so I can leave earlier? That's how much I hated my job. Right, so obviously We worked that out. They were not happy about me, but we worked that out. I think it'll end up being about maybe 2 months or about 6 weeks, if I remember correctly. So handed my resignation letter, got the dates there. You're quitting the 16th of June, will be your last day at work, and then that will be it for working for corporate world. Okay, everybody's bitching and moaning around the office. Look at that donut, he's gonna be moved, he's gonna be leaving his job, going into property. He hasn't even got a house, he lives in a shared house. So it wasn't always easy. So when I left the job, it wasn't always easy for me. I struggled. Okay. And then I realized how expensive it is to look after a baby and a woman who doesn't work. So basically, the money wasn't enough for us to live by. So, but I worked really hard. I advanced on my education. I hit on my credit cards to educate myself, and it went really tough. And it came to a point where I wanted to apply for a job. I remember taking my laptop, right, starting to apply. I was like, no way. I whacked the laptop back down. I said, no, I will never do that. I will never spit and lick it again. I need to survive on this thing. I need to make sure this works for me. I doubled down on the hours I was working on, like literally working, not knowing I'm just about to hit the gold, right? I'm just about to hit it. It's like when you're mining, nothing is coming up, not knowing you're nearly there. I was literally inches away before I was about to quit. And then a couple of weeks later, after I was about to apply for a job, literally the work I've been doing compounded up. I start getting my 4th property, 5th property, 6th property, 7th property, 8th property. By the time you think about it, I was on my 17th property within 12 months. I was thinking, whoa, I looked at my account one day, I saw £10,000 in my account. All of that money was passive income from properties that I've actually secured without owning, and only by renting them on room by room basis. I've looked at this and said, thank God I did not actually give up. So I was able to 10x my income. Why? Because I educated myself, I stayed focused, and I have a plan. And then obviously I didn't improve from there, from having rent to then branching on to rent to service accommodation, start buying my own properties, extended it to having an estate agency, got a renovation company. Now I teach people how they can start and scale in property using the exact footprint I used to get me to building a multi-million pound property portfolio. So these are the takes. If you want to then know how to master what I've just walked you through, these are the takes you need to do. Number one thing you need to do is to have a goal. Have a gigantic goal. Set a plan to say you want to do this by this day, right? Make sure that goal is a massive, gigantic goals. Or by setting deadlines, saying I'm going to be working for this person until this day, until that time. Ensure you stick to it. So whilst you set that goal and your deadline, start living below your means. Stop spending lots of money. Stop going out. Stop watching Netflix. Stop anything that doesn't add value to you. Concentrate in things that you could do that would drive value to you. Okay, and the next thing then you need to do basically is to save whatever you have. Save it, and save it. Okay, and then what you then need to do, like look for someone who's doing what you want to do, right? Look for someone that's doing what you want to do. Learn and replicate what they're doing. Because when I started, the mistake I did was to try to Google stuff or go on YouTube watching videos. It was keeping my mindset and motivation, but I wasn't learning. I think I'm saving, but I was wasting my time. The only time I was able to grow and expedite that growth is by approaching someone who's doing exactly what I wanted to do, to train me and teach me on how I can do exactly what they're doing. So what I did basically, I looked at them, copied them every single way to expedite my process. When I outgrow those people, obviously I went to someone else who then literally trained me again on a different strategy, and I was able to learn that strategy. I was able to expedite it. But here's the thing, in order for you to be able to do that, sacking your boss, you'd have to have a massive why. The why you're sacking your boss, or the why you want to be your own boss, become financially independent through that process, having a massive why. So you may be thinking, what sort of why that is? The why you may want to, or you need, or you must have, is an emotional why. A why that tells you, if I do not do this, X, Y, Z would happen to me, right? Or it could happen to my family. For me, some of my wives, but if I do not get successful, my kids will not live with me, my wife will dump me, and I won't be able to provide for my mom. So these are my why. I was really in those why, if I make those why emotional to me as well, so that if I don't feel it, I see the pain. And then obviously I was running away from pain as well. So when you're running away, if you're at a point where you're running away from pain, there's no way, there's nothing, no storm, no weather, no snow will stop you from achieving what you set yourself to achieve. So obviously I have that why, I have that gigantic why, and I was running away from pain. That didn't help elevate me. I struggled at the beginning, but elevate me slowly to take me to where I am today. So the question is, are you ready to take your financial situation into your own hands instead of relying on your employers or the government? If the answer is yes to that, do plan, strategize a way that you can sack your boss if you don't like what you are doing. Suppose you like what you're doing and you're making serious money out of it. Have you thought about making money work for you instead of you working for it? If the answer is no, it's about time to use property as a vehicle to make you passive recurring income. I really hope this video has been helpful. This video has been helpful. Smash the like button below, subscribe to my channel for more amazing videos. And again, if you're interested in learning how you can start and scale your property investment journey, there's a link on this video. Click that link to book a free one-to-one consultation with one of my team that may be able to help you to start or perhaps scale your property investment journey to the next level. Thank you so much for watching. I look forward to sharing next video.